This is Gene with PJG's Jewelry Studios. I want to make a bracelet today, and I hope y'all would come along with me and see how I do it. And I've got the wires all cut and laid out and taped up here. And the reason for it is that most people know how to cut wire and measure it off. And it's speed up the process. And I'll tell you what I got though. I got the center wire is a pattern wire. It's sterling silver, and it's 5.5 inches. The outside wires, there's 3 of them there. 2 of them are sterling silver, the 2 twisted ones, in the middle of 2 not twisted, which are gold filled, and they're about 7.5 inches long. And then I'm going to have some wrap wire, and okay, I'll show you how I get started with this. Just chop a piece of this wrap wire. I'll take the wire like this. Well, first, I better mark where I'm going to wrap. So this is a center finding ruler, and since it's 5.5, you put the there's a 0 there, and it's 6 inches this way and 6 inches that way. If you put it on 2 3/4, that's right here. The center would be on this right here on the 0. Because you got 2 3/4 on the other side also. All right, and now on top of that, I'm going to come down about 7/8 of an inch and put another little mark. And I'm going to wrap wire there. Now, I'm not going to wrap in the center. That's just to give me a reference point. But I'm going to wrap here towards the end, and here towards the other end. Then I'm going to put 7 wraps on the end towards the center on both sides. Okay, this is a 18 gauge, half round, half hard wire. And I like to make it a little bit longer on the end here than the width of the bracelet. And I wrap this around like this and get it on the mark there. And then I just wrap that up and mash this down and roll it over. Bring it up, mash it down and roll it over. And I'm going to put 3 wraps there, right there. I want to show you something in just a second. Go ahead and get this one around there. Mash it down. All right, if you go on the back side and you look at this, the back side's on a slant. And the slant would be like from the lower left to the top right. And by putting it on a slant, when you're wrapping, you're rolling it around. If you put it on a slant like that, lower left to the top right, just a little, the front part will be straight. And all right, and then I'm going to cut that one off. I cut it on a slant, and I try to only cover two wires. The longer that is, the easier it is to get lifted up. And I've never had no problems once I cut it that short. And then I cut the other one the same on the slant. And the reason for the slant is when you get ready to mash this down, you put the pliers, chain those pliers right on the end of the wire and right on the end of the pliers, and you crimp it down and you raise the pliers up like that. Just raise your hand up. And that makes it dig down into the metal of the bracelet a little, and then you can rub your hands on it and you won't get scratched on it. Then we're going to do another one. Do the other side here. Okay, there we go on there. And raise that up, roll it over, put it on a little slant from the lower left to the top right. Got it right on the mark here. So one more wrap here in the back, and then turn it around. Get this little end piece here, pull it back tight, and wrap it around like that. I'm going to cut it off, and see if I can catch this end and raise it up just a little, like that. Well, that's good. That's a little short, like duck light. All right, then you put the pliers right on the end of the wire, and mash it down, and you lift it up. Do the same on the other side. Mash it down, lift it up. Now, use one of those to stretch it. Now, we're going to wrap the ends. This is a little trickier. And what I've done, I went and made a paper here. That's 1 inch, I mean a half inch wide. All right, a half inch wide. And I got a paper here that's got all the measurements on it. For a half inch wide bundle of wire, the 7 wraps on the end are 8.5 inches long. So I'm just taking, cut this 8.5 inches long, which would be about right there. Cut that one off, and I'll cut another one while I'm at it. So I'll just use the other one to measure it, like that. Cut it off. All right. Then I got, take one of them. Now this, I'm going to do this a little bit different because I want to keep that from sliding when I wrap it. I'm going to start at the end, pretty much at the end, like this. All right. And then I'm going to raise this up and mash it down and roll it over and raise it up, mash it down. And one more time here, like that and like that. Then I'm going to turn this one over, catch it. A lot of times there'll be a little lump right here. So I always just pull it back, tighten it up, and bring it around. And I don't even look for a lump anymore. I just do it automatically. And now I've got 3 wraps here, but I want to slide this down to the end. I'm going to take it like this. And you don't need to do it this way, because when you do it this way and slide it, the front part here is not even touching it, because they got a V shape on these pliers. So you need to put it on the wire like this and just work it back and forth and slide it down. And then I'll turn it around, make it easier to see when I get to the end. And right there. Now I'm on the end. Okay, now I put this little wire here a little long for a reason. I'm going to take it like this and catch it and put a kick in it like that underneath. I don't know if you can really see that too good. It's a bend in it there. Then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to bring it up through the wires like that and pull it tight in there and kind of mash it in and pull it around like that, mash it down, pull it onto the back, mash it down. Now, the reason for that is that keeps the big long wrap wires here from sliding down. That'll hold them there. And never had no problem with them coming off because it's going to be bending this and they won't be able to get off there. All right, now I'm going to cut this. Just like that. And use my pliers. Mash that down. All right. Then we'll take it, wrap that up, mash it down, and go around 7 times. There's a story behind that 7 and 3. I went on the internet one time and I looked up people's lucky numbers. And there was a lot more people thought 7 and 3 was their lucky number. So I figured I'd cover both bets. I put 7 on the ends and 3 in the middle part. And that's kind of dumb, maybe, but that's what I've done. And it works out good. 2 reasons it works out good. You're not supposed to use an even number on jewelry. So that's 7 and 3, that's odd numbers. And then you, let's see, I got 2 many on there. Yeah, back that one off. Yeah. And 7 and 3 is not only people's lucky numbers, but almost all the birds and ducks and chickens and stuff like that, their eggs hatch in multiples of 7 days, like 7, 14, 21, like that, you know. And that's amazing. I didn't realize that until I looked it up. Okay, let's see now. I'll turn it around here and use the other one. And line this down here a little bit. Turn this around. Put that on there. Pull it up tight. And turn around and catch this one. Pull it up tight. Bring it over. Bring it to the back. And then I'll scoop these wires up to the end. Right there. And I'm going to catch the bottom side of it there. Kick it out like I did the other one right there. And then I'm going to bring it up through the middle. And pull it tight and wrap it around. And then mash it down. And then I'll take my cutters and get right over here and cut it off. And take the chain those pliers, put it right on the end of the wire, mash it down and lift it up. And now that one won't scratch you. Then I'll go ahead and finish this. That'll be 4, 5, 6, and 7. And 7. All right, let's see, double check here now. Nope, see, good thing I double checked. That was only 6. And if you ever make a mistake like that, and you cut the wire off, and then you find out it's 6 wires, instead of pulling it all off and doing 7, you go to the other end and you just take one off of it. And that makes it 6 and 6 and the break. All right, cut that off, mash it down. All right, we got the middle and both ends. Now I'll take this wrap wire off. This tape off. And I'll just put it on the edge of the table, use it again. You can use it 2 or 3 times before it don't stick to it. That's it. Now, I'm going to take that marking pen again. We're going to mark this from that little wrapped wire there, 5/8 of an inch out. That should be right here, all the way across, 5/8 of an inch. And do the same on this side, and that's where we're going to cut it off. And here's another thing that I always do when I cut wire off like this, and it's that's scrap wire that's cut off there. I always cut with the flush side on the part I'm going to keep, and the other side is the scrap wire, and that gives you a good flush cut on the wire. The same on this side, and you always want to hold these wires too. You don't want them to shoot across and hit somebody else. If I know one person got sitting across the table and got a wire in the cheek of her face. It flew across from a lady on one side to the other side. All right, now need the bell making pliers, and you take this and the inside of the bracelet faces up. You hold your hand like this, palm up. You hold this bell maker with the small one on your left. You can turn your hand better this way than you can back this way. So that's the reason for that. And then you put this on here, don't let it stick up, and you squeeze it real, real tight. And you turn it, and you keep your pliers on a 90-degree angle with the wire, like that. Then you let the pliers turn back around, and you just kick it back a little bit, and you end up like looking like that from the side. And that's what you want. And we do the same with the other one. You put it like this and don't let it stick up. And pinch it real tight. Let your pliers slip back and kick it back a little bit, like that. All right, let's finish bracelet except for the hook and the catch. I'm going to use these bell makers to make this. And this is the catch part. It's the 3-inch piece. So we're going to put it in the pliers like that, right in the center, if we can get it in the center. And bend this down over the big part and try to get it together on the ends. If you don't get it together on the ends, I'll show you how you can do that. You put it like this, and if one comes out longer than the other, bend the short one back and bend the long one to meet it, like that. And that'll work. All right, now the big one, put this back in there, and you take and bring this around like that, just gently. Don't squeeze it down, and you get it like looking like that. All right, now the other one, I've modified a pair of pliers to take care of that. And here they are. And I cut a notch in them across, and you put it right on here like this, and about 1/8 of an inch from the end. And then you hold the two ends like that, and you squeeze it, and you end up with what looks like a quarter key. And it works real good. And then you use the little one. You hold your palm up again and pull that, the little one off to your left. Don't let it stick up here. Keeping it on a 90-degree angle across that way to this way. Bend that all the way around like that, and then let it slip up and kick it back a little like you did them on the ends of the bracelet. All right, then you take and you spread it apart here, And well, you cut it off first, 1 1/8 of an inch, like this. And right there, 1 1/8 of an inch. And then you take your bell makers again, palm up, you put the little one, the big one in the middle, and you don't let that wad stick up. And you got this facing away from you, and you pull it with your hand. You pull it tight, squeezing it tight, and that don't quite close up, so you let it come back, and then you close it. And you do that with both sides. And it's tight. All right, then you do the next one. Whoop. Next one like this. And keep it straight and bend it around all the way. And then you let your pliers back and you close it. And you got this. That's your hook. All right, now you catch. The reason I call it hook and catch is the catch catches the hook. All right, and then this one here is going to be cut off 1 1/8 inch also. And that's overall length. 1 1/8 on that one. And 1 1/8 on this one. And here we go again, palm up. Put the big one in the middle. Don't let it stick up. Pull that real tight. Then bring it around. And then close it. Bring this up. Bend it around. And close it. And then, you got one more thing to do with this. You catch it right here and don't let that stick up either. And you bend it up a little around the big mandrel. And the reason for that is it's easier to hook. When you go to hooking it like this, it's very easy to hook and unhook. And it's less likely to come off. Plus, with it bent up like that, it's not pressing down on your wrist here to hurt you. All right, that's finished there. Now we'll take this. We want the inside of the bracelet facing up, the hook part facing up. You put one of them on. Don't try to put both of them on at the same time. It makes it hard. Put one on, turn it around, and put the other one on. It works real easy. Then you use a pair of flat nose pliers and catch it right here. And mash that in. And do the same on this side. And make sure that it's not sticking over the edge, because if it is, it'll scratch somebody, and that's no good. All right, now we'll take the other one. Now that one, the hook part went up towards the inside of the bracelet. This one, the bent part right here, the bent part goes to the good side of the bracelet, or up the outside of the bracelet. And we put it on the same way, like that, with that bent part facing the top side of the bracelet. And then you bend it down. Okay. They got a little feel there. I got to turn it just enough to where it don't stick over the edge. All right. Now that's it as far as making it goes. Now all I got to do is bend it to where it'll fit around your wrist. And the way I do that, I don't carry mandrels, bracelet mandrels. I just use this wire twister here. It works just as good, and it's one less item I gotta carry around. I put the good side of the bracelet facing up, the outside. Put my thumb right on the end here where it's wrapped. I take this and I bend it around, and get it like a U shape, like that. And I do the same with the other side. Bend it around like that. Oops, slipped. Bend it around like that. And then they can spread this open some, like that. And I'll make sure that it's straight across, not crooked like it is now. Like that. Hook it. Take my two fingers, put inside, and push down with your thumbs. You don't want these wires, this bracelet sticking up like that. You want it down more like that. Not completely down, but about like it is right now. All right. Then you want to make sure that this is spread apart about that much. And what that's for is that gives you tension. You see how it pulls back? And that keeps it from coming undone. And then you want to look at the bracelet and make sure it's level across this way, and the same thing on this side, and straight across from you. And that's the finished product. I hope y'all got some good out of this, and thanks for coming along.